Hello, good evening. My name is Richard. This is over and over and over again. It's the Arsenal review time. A lot to talk about this week. A lot's gone on. A week in the life of Arsenal tends to be quite busy, but this week's probably busier than many. It's going to be a great show. Just before we start, though, we do need to do this.
We are top league. 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 We are top league.
Just in case it doesn't last that much longer, we want to make the most of it while we still can. And we are still top of the league, despite yesterday's result, which we will obviously talk about tonight. We'll look at the transfer window as well. Of course, it did finish in the last week. No new players signed for Arsenal on deadline day, but it's been a reasonably good window overall. And the Europa League starts this week as well. Finally back in Europe again after a year sabbatical from that particular competition. We're back on Thursday with a trip to Zurich, so we'll look ahead to that. And of course, the Premier League gets we're looking to get back on track there against Everton as well. So lots to get through. Let's get cracking. And joining us tonight, as always, of course, we've got Melvin. And first time on this particular show for this season, although he's quite a regular face on the channel, of course, Steve as well. Melvin, first of all, how are you tonight?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Feeling slightly better than yesterday. Trying to get over it. I think I'm nearly there, not quite. Long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting there, I suppose. And Steve, of course, good to see you on this show. I'll say a familiar face on the channel these days. Good to see you involved so much, and good to see you tonight as well.
Rich, thank you so much for inviting me along and letting me grace the halls of the original over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, the Arsenal review, mate. Thank you.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. And actually, we've got another special guest just joined us. It is, of course, Neil. How you doing?
Hello.
Hey.
Steve, look, I thought I'd here, cheers. Cheers to our loss.
Brilliant stuff. I know. I've got me water as well.
I have got water. This is just leftovers from yesterday because this was supposed to be a celebratory 6 wins in a trot in this season,
okay.
but it became commiserations. But there was a little bit left, so there you go. I've still got my water.
Well, you know, yeah. As long as you're happy, that's the main thing. That's
I'm
all
happy.
I'm happy. Good stuff. Good to see you as always.
You
Good to see you as always. So, I mean, I suppose there's only one place we can really start today. Sort of rewinding to our first big away test of the season at Old Trafford. I mean, so much really happened in that game yesterday. So many things to talk about, really. It's difficult to know exactly which part of the game to begin with. I mean, overall, I just felt that once again we were lacking crucial elements in an away game against one of the better sides. And whatever we think of Manchester United, they're not the Man United they were. They're still a not a bad side, as we saw. And we just seem to lack something again. What that particular something is, it seems to change every time we play one of these sort of games. But ultimately, the results too often are like this. And there was a lot to be happy with. There was a lot to be impressed with the performance in many ways. I thought the way we played was pretty good. But having said that, ultimately the results are what we're in the business of. And again, we've fallen short now. So many incidents happened in that game. I suppose that the big one really was the first goal, wasn't it? Martinelli's goal, which was a fantastic goal, brilliantly taken. And almost like, fun enough, later on in the game, we would see Man United score a goal almost exactly the same with Marcus Rashford running through and finishing. But of course, as we know, it didn't last long, did it? Our fun and games was brought to an end by the VAR check for the foul. Now, I personally, at first sight, I thought I didn't see anything wrong with the goal. But when I saw the replay, I knew it was going to get disallowed because he clearly did push Christian Eriksen in the back. He didn't get the ball. Now, soft, yes, 100% soft, but looking at the rules of the game, I wasn't surprised to see VAR disallow that for the foul. I mean, I'm quite interested to know what you guys made of that, because there does seem to be quite a mixed response today on social media about was it a foul, was it not a foul, should the goal have stood, should it not have stood. Obviously, we wish it had have stood because it would have made a massive difference, no doubt, to the final result. But ultimately, I understand why it was disallowed. Melvin, what did you make of that particular incident? Because it was a crucial incident in the game, wasn't it?
Very much so. I put out today, when I put my glasses on, I'm blind, but I did put it out today. Once the ref was called over to the screen, being at Old Trafford, he could have watched an episode of Coronation Street on it and still given the same decision. That was what I felt at the time. Once he was going over there, he's going to give it. But I think you put out today, Richard, it was definitely a foul. But a foul, what does a foul mean? It means all different things to different people. The FA or the people above have made a foul or made the rules very grey. We're not sure even know what handball is now. They can't define anything. What offside is, you're not sure. Is it a foul if you don't touch the ball, so it's got to be a foul, or you can actually foul someone with not touching the ball? Or do you foul someone when you touch the ball and a split second later you take them down with a follow-through? So is that a foul? It's so undecided, it's so inconsistent. And when that referee went over to the screen, and I didn't think at the time, but when he changed his mind, he should be going over there for one reason only: if it was a clear and obvious mistake. And he saw what Odegaard did, so therefore he must have seen it wasn't a clear, obvious mistake. And when he went over to the screen, he did take quite a bit of time. So therefore, it wasn't that clear. So that again, I got upset with. So I can, whether you say it's not. Listen, would that have been given if we'd have got a throw on from that throw, Richard? Would that have pulled the game back?
No, of course not. No.
So then again, it's all baggy trousers. It's madness. What are we doing? What are we watching? We don't know what we're watching.
You're right, but I suppose the way they look at it is, if a goal results, every time a goal's scored, they kind of have a review, don't they, to make sure that there's nothing untoward about the goal, either in the build-up to the goal itself, or whatever it is. So that's why that was checked, as opposed to if it went for a throw-in, there'd be no need to check it, would there? Because it hasn't resulted in a goal. And I kind of, you see, I once I saw the replay, I knew they'd disallow it.
Yeah.
Because
Why do you think they'd disallow? Because it's Old Trafford? Because I bet that was in your mind.
Yeah, maybe that was in my mind, but just for the fact that I always try to look at these, and I always look at them and think, how would I feel if that decision was going the other way against us? How would I feel if that goal would have been scored against us, or had seen that replay of a push in the build-up that obviously clearly knocked Christian Eriksen off possession of the ball, which allowed us to get the ball to score the goal? If that had happened the other way around, I would have been fuming with that goal being allowed. So I kind of, when it was disallowed, I kind of thought, well, I would have wanted it disallowed if it was the other way. So I didn't have too many problems with it when I'd seen the replay. Obviously, at first glance, I didn't see anything wrong with the goal. And it wasn't until you saw the replay, you think, yeah, he didn't touch the ball, Odegaard. He's come from behind him. He's pushed him over.
No, he doesn't touch the ball, so that's a foul because of that. What happens if the guy was going down anyway? What happens if he lost possession of the ball? They were things that, this is what the review's for, isn't it? The review's there so that the referee can look at that and decide all of those things. And I think once he saw a replay of that, it was quite obvious that Christian Eriksen wasn't looking to go down. He was in front of the player. He was in front of Odegaard. He had the ball under control, and he was pushed in the back, which knocked him over, which gave us possession of the ball. I don't think he did have it under control. I'm sorry, I don't think he did. I think the ball was
he was in possession of the ball, wasn't he? He was in possession of the ball at the time.
Not because he was nearest him, not because he had it under control. There's a difference.
Maybe.
And also,
I just wasn't
it's
surprised,
ridiculous for taking it back. I agree you take it back then because it's a change of possession. But if the team scores from the kickoff, are they going to suddenly study the coin that they flick up, make sure it hasn't got to the same side on both sides? I mean, it's really ridiculous, all this. It's not what
it is ridiculous.
About.
No, I agree.
One of the best goals I've seen for years, us score, especially at Old Trafford. One of the best goals, even away from home at any time. And it's chalked off because of that. It's a, like I said once, I put it out there months and months, and like last season, I said, I don't actually, when I say I don't celebrate a goal now until I get a confirmation of email. It's a bit like that. It takes so much away from the game. That's what the game's all about. And I would prefer Arsenal to get beat by letting in offside goals by the other team sometimes. I agree. Because I'll tell you something, it's not right. It spoils it, it ruins it. And even if they're not biased, you feel like they are.
I mean, I think as well, another issue that maybe was kind of important in that was the fact that on Saturday there were so many terrible VAR decisions, and refereeing decisions in general. Absolutely terrible, disgraceful decisions. So I think on Sunday's games, I think the referees and the VAR are under strict control to make sure that they got everything by the book. And for that reason and that reason alone, that has to be disallowed, because of the fact that if they allowed that goal to be given when you saw the replay of what was technically a foul, then I think that would have then led to more VAR getting more criticism for not giving a decision. And I think that they were maybe overly concerned with what how it would look after all the mistakes on Saturday. They didn't want to make a big high-profile mistake. And I think that would have been considered a high-profile mistake if they'd awarded that goal. One, because it's Manchester United at Old Trafford, and that's the one thing. And secondly, because you could look at that and say, well, that was a foul. He did foul him, and it did cost possession of the ball, and it turned over the possession, which led to the goal. And I can see exactly why they gave it, even though I disagree with it.
I want to take over this thing. There's other boys want to talk, obviously, but just very quickly, you know as well as I do, different colour shirts on in the same game, it would have been a goal. End of.
No, 100%. And I would have been annoyed if it had been the other way. So
doesn't matter, it would have been a goal. Right,
yeah.
Sorry, well, thanks a lot, Richard. Thanks.
No, it's great to get your input, Melvin, and great stuff. I mean, Steve, what did you make of that? I mean, I know that you totally agree with Melvin, and I'm not surprised.
Don't go, Melvin. Well, you sounded like you was about to walk off stage and do a mic drop. The bottom line is, Tierney's got a record with us, right? Let's do a couple of things, right? Let's look at New Year's Day, and I've talked about this time and time again. The bloke was born in Manchester. He's from Manchester. The VAR ref that was there was born in Manchester. But the bottom line is, Ericsson was caught napping, right? And Odegaard, and look, bottom line, it was a soft foul. It's easy, absolutely simple for VAR. Just around saying no goal, go and have a look at the screen. You're absolutely right. I think it was the flip. We had a couple of them where Saka was getting again, McTominay going in. Saka was getting absolutely kicked to pieces. You could tell by the rips in his socks. Yeah, the stud marks in his socks where they're torn in there, right? Where Tierney didn't even bother to do anything about it. So the guy's got history. But look, the bottom line, I think, guys, with it all, is that we need to finish our chances. When we're in front of the goal, we need to hit the goal. We need to go in. The only way we're going to stop this, we can't rely on VAR. We can't rely on the rest, because I don't think they're biased. I just think they're incompetent. They're absolutely incompetent.
100%. Yeah.
So with Tierney, he's even not only is he incompetent, right? He's also a Mancunian as well. So we haven't got hope in hell. We absolutely have hope in hell. The red card in New Year's Day, and that will never leave me. That will never leave me. I'm sounding bitter and twisted, but.
And the penalty, and the penalty in that game as well. By the way.
Don't start me off, because I was massively hungover. I had 3 hours sleep. I desperately went to the game to watch us play our best football ever and to have it stolen. When our home fans are singing at Old Trafford, you're one of our own. It kind of says it all. It says it all about the state of it. You tell me West Ham. You tell me that West Ham and that VAR decision against Chelsea. Tell me that was right. Oh my God! What have you got to do?
Of course, it wasn't.
So it's incompetence at the highest level, with lots and lots of money being paid to these people as well. Let's not forget they're on about 80, 90 grand a year. These guys, running around. And I'm sorry, if Tierney wants to come on and have a chat with us, I'll be more than happy to have a chat with him, because he's an incompetent Mancunian. But I have to say, we made it hard for ourselves. I genuinely believe, we played out of our skin for about 60 minutes. First 10, 15, we were really quiet. They came straight at us and we weathered that storm. Then after that, we dominated that game. I had United fans messaging me saying, I can't believe the way Gabriel's playing. I can't believe the way Zinchenko's playing. The one that did stick out, although Saka scored the goal, I don't think he's right. I don't know what you think, but I'm sure we're going to go into the analysis a bit further. But for me, I don't think Saka's been playing right. I don't think he's quite there. I don't know what's wrong with him, because normally some of them shots he's putting on goal, he'd just be burying it into the back of the net. For me, the standout player was Gabriel Martinelli, and has been since the beginning of the season. I thought he was absolutely unplayable. What a player! What a player.
He was brilliant. He was brilliant again. You're right. I mean, the thing with Saka, actually, what I noticed was, obviously, when he scored the goal, it was a very muted celebration. Since it's an equaliser at Old Trafford, you know, in a big game, I thought his celebration was. I was surprised at how muted it was. It was almost like he sort of almost half walks over to the fans, walked away, and then he was sort of pulled back. I think it was Granit Xhaka, wasn't it, that pulled him back, and he sort of did a little bit longer celebration, and all the players joined in. But he was quite prepared just to walk away. And I'm thinking, is that because it's only 1-1? He wanted to get the game started again to try and win it, or is there something else going on? I wasn't really sure. I was quite surprised by that, actually, because normally he celebrates goals. You know how much he celebrates goals when he scores for Arsenal, especially that's his first goal not being a penalty for a long time, is it? In 2022, I think it is. So, you know, I thought that was strange. I was a little bit concerned by that, actually, but I mean, that might be just, I might be reading more into it.
Also,
than it was.
Happy 21st birthday to him today, I believe.
Exactly, yeah, happy indeed. Happy birthday to him.
If you want to come on the show as well, the show, you're welcome to come on. Glass of wine's on me. No worries, mate.
I don't think we should be getting him on the wine, Steve, somehow. I think maybe we should keep him away from the wine, but he can come on the show. Definitely, of course he can.
Absolutely.
You're more than welcome. Okay, so it'd be great to see you. I mean, Neil, what did you make of all of that? Because a lot of stuff went on in that game yesterday. We could talk about this game all night and not cover everything that happened, really, because, I mean, it's so many things went on. I mean, obviously, the VAR call's a big one, and overall our performance, which was good, but ultimately not good enough to win the game, which is what we all wanted.
I'm like the lads. It feels like it was stolen from us. For me, it felt that way because after the first 10 minutes, I was scared. The first 10 minutes, they were brilliant. It's the best I've seen Man United play. We're talking about us. It's the best, and I thought, they had to turn it. It had to be us that they turn it up against, isn't it? It has to be. I don't know if you guys will ever watch snooker, but Jimmy White. Everyone used to play brilliantly against Jimmy White, and I just feel like we've always been the Jimmy White of football, Arsenal. But it's like everyone seems to want to become world-class players when they play Arsenal. I thought, here we go again. So not only we got that to contend with, which is fine. I've always said, if we lose to great football, although it still hurts, I'll take that all day long. But I knew Old Trafford, there's going to be a controversial moment, and boy, did it come. So against the run of play, we put together exactly what Melvin described very aptly. It's one of the best goals I've seen in years. It was brilliant. And Martinelli, yes, you're right, Steve. He's been, as much as we laud Jesus and Saliba, Zinchenko, and even Xhaka, I'd say Xhaka's up there at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Martinelli's been outstanding. He's for me, he's actually getting better every game.
Yeah,
his energy levels are incredible. And as soon as we hit them with that goal, which was then obviously disallowed, our heads could have dropped. And that's the change again that I've seen with this club.
It picks up.
If that had been us 2 years ago, if out of nowhere, no one was expecting Arsenal to win. We are the laughing stock. We're the clown banter club. And then we produced that moment of brilliance, and then it was disallowed. I bet you our heads would have dropped, but we didn't. In fact, if anything, we dominated the next 50 to 60 minutes, or wherever it was, 40 to 50 minutes.
Yeah, we did.
And some outstanding play, some absolutely outstanding play. And you know what? Martinelli was involved in a lot of that. And yes, I think we were right, Steve. I said the best way to counter this nonsense that we're having to experience all the time. And I'm not just saying it's for Arsenal, but I'll only speak for Arsenal because Arsenal's the club I support and follow. So it does feel like bias. I do agree with Melvin. It does feel that it might not be. It might be incompetence. It might be errors. It could be anything. But the point is, it does feel like bias. And you just knew it was something was going to happen. You just knew from that moment something's going to go wrong. And there was plenty of hard tackles going on our players. Nothing given, nothing.
No.
But sorry, Odegaard, that was a soft tackle. I'm not being biased. I'm trying to see it from an objective point of view, pretty much like how you do it, Rich. And I think I applaud you for that. You say, let me look at it from if I was the opposition. How would I feel? And I really tried to look at it. I thought, yeah, you might feel a little bit hard done by, but it wasn't the worst tackle in the world either.
No, it wasn't.
It was very, very soft. And for a beautiful. And I'm sorry, I thought VAR was there.
Stunning.
If it's clear and it's absolutely dead cert. That's not dead cert because the ref was in a good position as far as he was concerned. He allowed it to go on. So why is then he being pulled back to look at the screen again? And I just thought, this is again. We can go on about this until we go blue in the face. So there's no point going over the old ground. We know it's not right. We know there's inconsistencies. We know things have got to change, and hopefully they do for the better. apart from that, I'm not making excuses. I agree with Steve. We should have finished off. There's a couple of chances that we had. Odegaard had a chance. It was literally an open goal. He just hit it.
That was a big one.
What is wrong with that kid shooting? Oh my God! Come on, captain. Shoot the ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Martinelli.
Well, I think he tried to shoot that one, didn't he? But he just miskicked it completely, didn't he? I think he was trying to shoot.
Just
Martinelli had that chance, which brought a good save out of De Gea. We had our chances, and if we'd put 2 or 3 of those away, that in a weird way, although that brilliant goal was ruled out or ruled, scrubbed off, it would have been an even more sweeter way to win. That we were denied that greatness, but yet we still came back and took the ball, the horns, but the ball by the horns, and we absolutely dominated. And I'm sorry, I was gutted. And let me just tell you, I was absolutely devastated at full time. I didn't want to know anything. I haven't even watched the highlights. I went into a strop and a sulk and all the rest of it. I still managed to finish most of the wine, Steve. Don't worry. But yeah, I just went into a. But then I felt that what I want to now. This is going to what you were talking about, Richard, at the first few podcasts that we did. I want to see the mentality of this group now. Let's see if they're up for it. I want to see them turn it around as early as Thursday. And even if it's a different set of players, which I'm presuming there will be some changes, I want to see them get that one under their belt. And then I want to actually see us dominate and literally destroy. Yeah, I mean, I'll take a 1-0, don't get me wrong. But let's just start straight away, get back. Because if we win on Sunday, it doesn't matter what any other team does, we will still be top. And that's the nice, comfortable, that's the luxury we've got at the moment, that we're still in control of our destiny, at least going forward for the next few games. So let's not get too downhearted. I'm a hypocrite for saying so. I'm saying, look, we're still top of the league. We still had look. If any of us had said 5 wins out of 6, first 6 games, I think most of us would have taken that, right?
Take it.
We would have. Most of us would have taken it.
Yeah.
So
of course,
and as a result, because of other teams, we're actually top still. We are still top, clearly top. There's no, they haven't got games in hand. They haven't got all this. We are actually top, albeit by a point, but we're top. So let's take that. Let's applaud the boys. They did play well. It's one of the best performances I've seen at Old Trafford. Do you lot agree? I think so. That I've seen in years. One of the best. And from that, we can only take positive. So I'm going to reset myself, and I'm looking forward to the next game again. And honestly, I think we will be okay. We will win more games playing like that than Man United will. Trust me, and we will finish above them. We will finish above them.
I admire your confidence in that. I mean, at this moment in time, I think that there's a lot of questions still to be asked about whether we will finish above Man United. We will find out as the season goes on. I mean, I think there's 2 aspects slightly to it. One is Man United have played the way they played yesterday in their previous 3 games, soaking up the pressure, allowing the other team to have the ball and looking for the quick counter-attack. We got caught out twice in the end, and it cost us the game. They did it against Liverpool, they did it against Leicester, they did it against Southampton. So that's the way that they play. So they allowed us to have the ball. So it made it look like we were dominating the play, which we were, but that was how they wanted the game to be played. It was played almost as they wanted it. And we dropped into that trap, and we got caught out on the counter-attack on those 2 goals, which the first one, fair enough, you can maybe understand that it was a good counter-attack, a fantastic through ball. The second one was very, very poor defending, I thought, from our perspective. We shouldn't have really fell for that straight after the substitutions that we'd made to try to go on and get back in the game, which was a bit annoying to concede a goal like that at that point when we were looking to come back into it. So, I was frustrated at the end because that was an opportunity for us to go to Old Trafford and get a result. And we played well enough to get a result. I think we'll all agree with that. There's no doubt about that. We did. But unfortunately, the tiny little details that make the big difference in those games, we didn't get right on the day, did we? At the one end of the pitch in front of goal, we couldn't take our chances. At the other end, we were sloppy defensively on a couple of occasions, got caught out. Well, I mean, 2 of the 3 goals were down to our poor defending as much as anything. I think we could have prevented 2 of those goals, really, if we...
The third one, I don't blame too much of the players. I mean, that was a massive gamble. 3 substitutes completely changing the balance and the look of the team. I think they were just lost. They were just lost. And to be fair, I mean, I don't know what you feel about Gary Neville, but he did actually say something I agreed with. He said that, look, that's a gamble. It could have paid off. It could have meant Arsenal going to score 3 or 4. Or they'll end up conceding 3 or 4, and it's not worked. And if it had paid off, we wouldn't be having this discussion, would we? We'd be hailing Arteta, saying, "Wow, what a master!"
Oh, of course we would. No, of course we would.
It's such fine margins, but I agree with you. I think there were defensive lapses, but I think the 3rd goal that you can't really blame the players. That is the balance The whole shape of the team had changed. They probably didn't know what was going on themselves. It was difficult.
No, they didn't. No, I'm not necessarily blaming individual players. I just think it was a poor defensive goal to concede. It was bad defending, wasn't it, from the team? And that was allowed that goal. The first goal was pretty bad defending as well. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, I think we have to be satisfied with the performance. And that's a good thing that we can take forward. And I agree with you, Neil, 100%. If we continue to play like that, we're going to win a lot more games than we lose. And ultimately, that should take us where we need to be this season, which ultimately is finishing in the top 4, which is what we all want to happen. So in all those things were good. It's just, unfortunately, once again, we come up short, haven't we, in a game like this away from home. And it's so frustrating because it happens so many times and for different reasons every single. So it's not like the same reason every season. You could say there was a few games at the same reason, but that was not the same reason, was it? That was totally different yesterday. We still lost the game, but it was so many different reasons as to why that was, and that makes it even more frustrating for me because we got 90% of it right, but that 10% that matters is where we've not got it right, and that's something that we're going to have to put right if we're going to get ourselves better results in these games going forward for the rest of the season, because we've got a lot more of them to come, as we know. A few in the next few weeks, actually. When you look at the fixtures, we've got some really big games coming up, and we're going to have to try and find some results, aren't we? James is in the chat, mate. He says VAR is like having tickets to Jimi Hendrix and then out walks your dad with a banjo. Disappointing, soul destroying, and a load of absolute rubbish. Yeah, I don't think we argue with that too much. You didn't go on to say, if any of your dads can play Hendrix on a banjo, I apologise for the poor analogy. Well, if anyone can play Hendrix on a banjo, then I mean, they deserve a lot of credit for that, really, don't they? I don't think there's any doubt about that. Terry says, Defo Neil, I thought it was our best game this season. In many ways, it was one of our best performances, without a shadow of a doubt. And he says, I do think Eric Ten Hag outmanaged Arteta in the second half. Yeah, potentially. I mean, he got the result, so you have to say he probably did. But ultimately, we played it probably as well as we could have played, I suppose. And unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough to get the result that we were all desperately hoping for, and we came close to getting. So yeah, frustrating day, a frustrating result, but plenty of positives to take from it all overall. The performance is good, and going forward, I think we can all be reasonably confident that one defeat isn't going to define our season, is it? It's hopefully, as long as they don't keep happening. That's the key now, isn't it? We need to bounce back from this, win on Sunday, and then get a little run going again, and keep the performances up, and I'm sure we'll be fine. But yeah, frustrating is probably the biggest word for me to come out of that, really. And while we're talking about frustration, actually, another kind of slight frustration of the last week or so was this. So obviously the transfer window finished. We didn't get anybody else in. We've got a few injuries. We've seen the bench and some certain areas of the team look a little bit weak. I mean, Melvin, what was your thoughts on, was it Wednesday? Thursday, wasn't it, when the transfer window shut? What was your thoughts when we didn't bring anybody in? Were you disappointed, or are you reasonably happy with what we've got? Can this get us through till January as we are, or do you think we should have maybe tried a bit harder to get maybe Douglas Luiz as an example?
Well, you know what goes on, but in the Douglas Luiz, it didn't seem what they wanted to sell him. I mean, you didn't hear that Arsenal bid 20 and they want 35, so we'd be 25, and they went, we want 30. There was none of that. It was like we'd be 20, we'd be 23, we'd be 25. There was nothing coming the other way, so I can't blame the club for that. No. Did they expect us to the last minute bid 68? Press the wrong button or something, and do something like that. It's a shame, because I think I saw him a couple of years ago at Villa Park. I think about the game. I watched the game live on TV, and he bossed us around in midfield. He was the man of the match, and I thought, bloody hell, if we can get someone like him, it'd be amazing, because that's someone we really need. We want someone not only can play football, but can destroy the other teams, get in their faces, stop them from attacking. Look at yesterday, prime example. One ball. I want to say it's a fabulous, fantastic ball, but the space was there for him to give the ball for the first goal. We need someone there thinking about not what I'm going to do as a footballer, what I'm going to do to stop the other team playing, and we haven't got that. And I'm just going back slightly to the game yesterday as well. I think he's a fantastic footballer, but I think Zinchenko was at fault for at least one of the goals yesterday. Yeah, certainly the first goal. He was like in no man's land. He switched off. He was watching the ball. And to me, that's telling me he's not a natural left back. right?
No,
A game like that. No, it's easy after the game, but I thought it before the game. I might have said it to Jerome before the game. I would have preferred, and Craig, who I was watching the game with, I'd have preferred to have Tierney playing that game because that's where Man United are so dangerous on the wings. They're very dangerous. Tierney is a much better defensive fullback. And if you say you want to play him because he is a fantastic footballer, very difficult one. And I'm not going to get a lot of friends with this. No more Christmas cards from people. But it might have been the game to let Xhaka out and put Zinchenko in Xhaka's place. Because going forward, he's fantastic and put pressure on United. And we could have afforded to do that with Tierney at fullback. I thought that was something missed.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think Zinchenko's a natural left back. He's played left back at Man City. Even his midfield is more his natural position, isn't it? That midfield position, and he does drop in there quite a lot. But yeah, it was his fault for that first goal. There's no doubt about that. But I don't like to criticise Zinchenko because he's been great and he's a great player.
No, but I've got to say it as I see it, though. I mean, I think he's fantastic. But I think he might have been at fault with the second one. Somebody got the ball in, and again, like Neil, I haven't watched it again. I can't watch it again, but. We had the ball under control in midfield, and someone chose, I think it might have been him, to give a sloppy pass away, which then went backward.
That was Sambi.
Then he gave it away. But we had a chance to build an attack, and he put it in a danger area and put us under pressure. I thought he would. But listen.
I remember in our chat, Melvin, in our chat, we have our little WhatsApp chat, I said we needed to go into Dalot. Like we needed to overload it, and the times that we did it when Gabby ran it in, which is why Tierney would have been absolutely brilliant. We can talk. Hindsight's a great thing; it's foresight that you need. But we were talking about the frailties of Dalot. That first ball over the top, Dalot was nowhere near Gabby. So I think you're absolutely right. If we'd have had Tierney overlapping with Xhaka actually holding back and just doing that holding role as Tierney bombed on, right? I think it would have been that left hand side would have been absolutely. It would have been a real issue for them. One last point I want to say is, Saliba does one tackle, puts one bad tackling, gets a yellow card. But McTominay pushed. You see the push that he did?
That was a booking. And what about the first minute with the guy Martinez? That tackle he did on Jesus. That was a booking. They give the excuse it's too early. So therefore, should a goal not? If you score in the first minute, it's not allowed either because it's too early. Make up go along.
Pat on the back and a well done. That was it. That's all they got. But as I say, one tackle, one yellow card for Saliba. Goes back to
I can understand the ref giving him a yellow card because it stopped them from moving on. It was a professional foul.
It was.
Understand it, but that doesn't stop him from giving yellow cards for things that are far worse. And also, what made me laugh, well, not in a funny way, is when he pushed Martinelli off the pitch. Yeah. The referee actually turned around to him and went like, push, like we didn't know what it was for. Like it was sorry. I'm very sorry, but you did actually push him. So take my apologies, but I had to give it. That's what I felt. Pathetic.
Yeah.
And going back to the actual question, which you asked me half an hour ago, yes, I was disappointed. I'm not blaming necessarily Arsenal for not getting Louise, but I'm blaming Arsenal for not getting, not just this window, the previous window, a stonking midfielder, stop the other team from playing. Because then if we defend like that, if you had a guy protecting our back four, which we didn't have any protection yesterday, I'm not going to go at anyone, it's the way we played the football. If we got someone defending our back four, the rest of our team could afford to play any football they want in front of him. And we don't do that. We've never learned. I think the last time we had it properly was we saw it for one game was Coquelin when he first came in the team. We think, at last we've done it. All of a sudden it went backwards again and we didn't quite persevere with that. It is so. You tell me a great Premier League, and we're not great, but you tell me a team that wants to be great that hasn't had a defensive midfielder that does that nasty job. With Liverpool's, Man United, if you like, Chelsea, Liverpool, you've got to have it. They talk about, we need another winger. No, all right, we might do, but we need that. That's what you build from because it all comes from there. It's the core of the team. It's the core. And if your back four are playing with however good they are, with a disadvantage of not having any protection, I'm sorry, that's not the right odds. Any Arsenal, even Tony Adams and that back four, they were great, but they had people in front of them that could put the foot in. They had the Vieiras in front of them, and I don't have to name the other players. You know where they are, right? If they would have had Vieira and Petit and all the others I'm talking about, Gilbert and whatever, they wouldn't have been as good as they were. However good they were, Richard, they wouldn't have been that as good.
No.
They were
No.
as good.
Oh,
what is
agree
it? Am I seeing a different game of football here? What is it with me? Am I playing some
No.
or something? That is the most frustrating thing of the transfer window, right?
Yeah.
You know, they've signed this one, I haven't signed that one. Great, I'm very happy. But you've got to go, and I've said it on your pod many a time, months ago or whatever it was, a year ago. Who would I want to buy a good player? Just that's the only thing I want in my Christmas stocking. Thank you very much, and we haven't done it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly right. And the fact that we tried to get Douglas Luiz suggested that Arteta's aware of it, Edu was aware of it. They're all aware of it. So why did we leave it to the last minute? Why did we wait until Partey was injured? Why didn't we think about bringing in not a replacement for Partey, but a backup for Partey before he got injured? Why didn't we think of doing this earlier on in the window rather than waiting to the last minute when the selling club have got all the power because it's a transfer deadline day? Why did we wait until then to get that player in? That I 100% agree with. That's the one player that we needed to sign more than any other position. I didn't care about any other position. The one position I cared about was a midfield player to be able to come in and do Partey's job when Partey's not there, and he's not there far too often. So that for me was really, really frustrating and disappointing that we didn't get somebody in throughout the whole. Not just on deadline days, irrelevant. We had 3 months to get that player in, and we didn't. You know, I'm pleased with the players that we have bought in. Don't get me wrong; they're great players and they're going to improve us, and they have improved us. But ultimately, I still think we're that one player now we could have done with that would have really helped us going forward. Terry in the chat there says, I was well disappointed we didn't bring in a Prem-proven CDM. Yeah, I think we all are. I think we've done the Arsenal thing again. We're going fine. We can do it without again. Well, I mean, we tried to get someone, didn't we? We tried to get Douglas Luiz. We just left it too late. And Terry says, at last, someone agrees with me. Thanks, Magic Belvin. You're my favourite now. Sorry, Neil. Belvin deserves the credit he gets. Russ is in the chat as well. Evening, Russ. How you doing, mate? Thanks for tuning in. And Neil just replied to Terry there. We've never replaced. No, you're right. We've never replaced Patrick. No, of course we haven't. And I think it's impossible to, really, isn't it? But yeah, we needed to get someone in, and we had all that 3 months to get someone, and we didn't. And other players we saw moved to other clubs, a sort of player that we would have been brilliant player for us. But anyway, I mean, Steve, I know obviously transfer deadline day is where the excitement is, but the transfer window is 3 months, isn't it? So we didn't have 1 day to get a replacement for Partey, and we had 3 months, and we didn't do it. I mean, what have you made of the transfer window overall? Because it's been a reasonably good window, hasn't it? We've got some great players come in, but ultimately we're still short, aren't we? Which is frustrating.
Yeah, look. Everybody's sort of making it out as if it's like, you know, it's the end of the world, and like, you know, the zombie hordes and apocalypse, you know, is going to be hitting the Emirates Stadium next Sunday. I actually think overall we've actually had a good window. We've got rid of and trimmed down our wage bill, you know, the financial fair play BS that's come up, you know, where we've been that. You're absolutely right. Why don't we get Tielemans? You know, why don't we get all of those players? And Tielemans played out of his skin on Saturday, I have to say. But for me, the window's been good. We've got some good players. The injuries have done it. I mean, you know, I never ever dreamed in my life I'd ever be really upset that, and I don't mean this in a bad way. Genuinely, what I'm about to say is I'd be worried that Mohamed El you're right there, Mel. Get yourself a glass of wine, mate. Someone get that man a glass of wine, please. A bit sharpish.
Brandy, I think he needs. He needs some brandy. I think that's what he needs.
Yes,
That's it.
but I never thought I'd rue the day that, like, you know, like Mo El-Neni, you know, for everything he does, you know, I sit there and think, oh my God, you know, Zinchenko, in fairness to him, had the knee injury, and Thomas Partey. So I think there's a combination of events. But you're absolutely right. Is Luiz the right person for us? I don't know. Yeah, there was the Brazilian guy, Danilo, that we were going for as well. And Flamengo turned around and said no. Tielemans to me was the obvious choice that should go in. And I got a feeling that Edu's nickel and diamond. He's hoping that come January, we'll make it through to January, we'll be there or thereabouts. Then they can get these players on pre-contracts because they're into their last 6 months, and we get something for nothing. But the fact of the matter is, when you do something like that, you are taking a massive risk because ultimately the financial gain of Champions League just outweighs everything. And you know what? Why don't we look bigger than Tielemans? Yeah, if we get Champions League, we should be looking higher than Tielemans. We should be looking right up there.
Absolutely.
So I would say that yes, we've had a good window. Yes, we've cleared out some of the players. Yes, we've actually starting to see a team that is now gelling and forming something, and actually people want to come and play for us. That's the interesting thing, because if the rumours were correct, Luis wanted to come and play for us. So we've got that. Should we have just done this earlier? Absolutely. Absolutely. We did it with Zinchenko, we did it with Jesus, we did it at the beginning of the window. We got Vieira in very early on. We got all those. Why wait? We knew the midfield was going to be a problem. We knew that. Again, you can't blame Arteta for hamstring injuries. You can't blame for knee injuries, that type of stuff. But honestly, these guys are not going to be. Zinchenko will be, but Mo's not going to be there forever. So that replacement should be in place. The other one I was going to say is I didn't think Sambi played too badly. In fairness, I actually think he played quite well. He was very brutal in his challenges. He went in quite hard. Yes, he made some mistakes, but it's a rusty young fella that's gone in and played at Man United, at Old Trafford, and played exceptionally well. I think he's got a lot of abuse on Twitter for no reason. Yeah. It's been quite harsh on him. So to the Twitterati, just back off. How would you like it if that was your son? That you're doing the kid played.
You're right, Steve. What I think we need to remember is that most of the abuse that people get on Twitter is a load of rubbish and shouldn't be taken seriously. And I'm sure nobody really takes it seriously. I mean, yes, he did make one or two mistakes yesterday, Lokonga, but I agree with you. He's not played much football at the top level, has he? Since he's been at Arsenal, and he's had to come in now and do a job. But to me, I don't blame Lokonga for anything. What I blame is poor planning by the club not to have got in somebody else to do that role, a more ready player who could come in straight away when needed in these big games, not to stop Sambi Lokonga from playing, because he's going to get his opportunities. We've got the Europa League and what have you, but it's the club poor planning for that eventuality of Partey getting injured, which we all knew would happen because this happened every single season he's been here.
I think they expected Zinchenko to take over from that, but again, pick up something Neil said. Daka's been playing out of his skin. The one thing that was worrying for me is actually the statement that Arsenal put out about Emil Smith-Rowe injured again.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and in the warm down.
Yeah, the warm down at the end. That's not good. That's not good. That poor kid, the end of last season and now into this season. I want to see him playing. I want to see him progressing. I love him. He's
hardly played, has he? He's hardly played this season.
How bad was the injury, Steve?
Quite a serious one, apparently. And they're doing some because he's had quite a lot of groin problems, isn't he? So I think they're going to do there's some scans, but that's just what I saw come up out of the Emirates. So fingers crossed.
I saw that. I did see that. Yeah, I mean, funny enough, when the TV interviews after the game were going on the pitch, you could see him warming down behind at one point. A few of them, and I see Smith-Rowe. I didn't actually see him pull up with an injury, but obviously that's come to light since. But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it'll be a serious injury because it's not going to be a contact injury. It's just going to be muscular, isn't it? But if it's a recurring injury that he's had previously, as we've seen with Thomas Partey, for example, then that couldn't be good.
It's one of those things, isn't it? When and the whole skeletal structure and everything else. It's you see it with players. When they're coming back from serious injuries, it's always something else. Because everything's complicated. You kind of fix the main problem, and something else goes. I'm just praying. I'm just praying. Because I want to see him. I want to see him really push on this season because I think he would push Odegaard. I think he's going to be pushing for those places. I think he can play that creative midfield role quite happily. Not the holding defending one, but for that creativity.
No, 100%. I mean, I want to see the Smith-Rowe that we saw sort of at the early part of last season when he was getting goals week in, week out. He was brilliant, wasn't he? And I want to see that Smith-Rowe again. Obviously, we will. It's just he's got to get over these injuries, hasn't he, and get back in the team playing regular again. But it's something to look forward to later in the season, isn't it? Because we know what quality he's got and how brilliant he can be. So that's how we can sign it.
As Wenger said,
it will be like a new signing, another new signing, that's what it will be like. I mean, talking of new signings, then Neil, what did you make of the transfer window as a whole? Yes, the deadline day was frustrating, disappointing, but ultimately as Steve mentioned there, it's been a reasonably good window overall. I still think we're at least one player short of where we maybe should have been or needed to be.
No, I absolutely. I mean, look, if we take the ticket as a general, yeah, good window, some great players, without a doubt. Great players that have come in, they've already changed the way we play right from the get-go. So that's what you want, isn't it? From a transfer, you want to get these players in. Sometimes you might allow them a little time to adjust to, even if they're from the Prem, they've still got to adjust to new teammates, a new club, a new environment, maybe even a new home, a new life, everything. So you give them that flexibility. But, you know, 2 or 3 of them just come in, well, Saliba, Zinchenko and Jesus just walked into it and played magnificently. So we're very fortunate and very lucky with that. Yes, I was disappointed that we didn't get anyone in to cover the CDM kind of that kind of position where we were all saying Xhaka and Partey, great relationship that they've got, a great partnership. But if one of them gets injured or something happens suspension-wise, how does it look? We all talked about potentially Zinchenko coming into the midfield. We weren't sure at the time. Maybe that is the role for him. And at the time also, I have to say, before yesterday's game, and this is only because I hadn't seen him before, I was concerned about the right wing as well, because I was so scared for Saka that he's being literally played. When is the boy going to get a rest? And I thought we need to bring someone in from that point. So not to get either position kind of hurt, but now after seeing Vieira, and he made it looks the business. So I don't think we've got a problem there now. So it really, the disappointment, if there is any disappointment, is to do with that position where we could have got cover for Partey, stroke Xhaka. And I agree with the lads. You know what, Melvin, I've never seen you so animated in a podcast before. Actually, I've never seen you so animated. But you've made some great points, and it's not a criticism. I agree with you. I think you're 100% right on everything you've said. And can I just touch on a couple of things very, very quickly? I think Steve and Melvin summed it up. I think the transfer window, good overall, a little bit disappointing. But the main thing is we cleared a lot of dead wood. We've cleared to ease that strain and pressure on the wage structure. So that gives us more opportunity going forward. You touched on something very, very poignant as well, Richard. I think it was the last podcast. You said, even if we don't do anything in this transfer window, the World Cup break isn't too far off, and then we're into another transfer window. We potentially might be able to then get someone, but it is annoying from Arsenal that they don't seal these key positions quickly. It's always nice to get them done early so that they can get to know each other. The player can adjust. They can be involved in the pre-season friendlies, and then they can already motor on. They're ready for the start of the season. So I think that for me is the disappointment. Just a quick couple of things, which from the previous discussions we've had today. I'm just playing a little bit of devil's advocate, and don't hate me, guys. But I think also if we look at the decisions, Sambi was lucky with one as well. I think he went quite hard on one of the, I can't remember which Man United player it was, and he did get away with it. And I was like thinking,
Fernandes, isn't it? Fernandes?
Yeah, I thought, oh my God, knowing our luck, he's going to get a red card. Don't please. And he actually didn't get anything. And I was like, yes, for once it's gone in our favour. So that's a little bit of devil's advocate. And on Saka, you said about the celebration. It's probably because he knows that we were going to get robbed anyway.
Probably.
What's the point celebrating? We're going to lose this anyway.
I hope he didn't think that, but I kind of get the point. I mean,
but in all seriousness, you do actually bring up something quite interesting there. I hope it's just because I don't know, maybe he thought it's only 1-1. We want to go and win this game.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping it was.
Yeah.
And maybe once you get the game restarted, don't worry, Fanny, I'm celebrating. Let's just get playing again. Let's win the game. Maybe, but I don't know.
Exactly.
It did seem a little bit strange at the time. I'm thinking,
exactly.
I'd have celebrated that a lot more if it was me personally. But anyway, that's
cartwheeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know if I could manage a cartwheel, I would have probably celebrated a bit more than that. We've got a Man United fan in the chat. Robert Aiden, he says, glory, Man United. Yeah, okay, whatever, mate. We're still top of the league, so don't worry about that.
Table don't lie, brother. Remember when you finished, and remember it's 3-1 when you come to us. So glory all you want, big man.
Exactly, yeah. We're going to enjoy it while we can, because who knows how much longer we've got. Mark C says there, Vieira full debut on Thursday. Yeah, we'll come on to that in a minute. I would imagine so. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't. He did look good, didn't he, when he come on? Lovely touches he had. He still looks a little bit lightweight, doesn't he? And you think he's going to get kicked about, but actually, I thought he was brilliant when he come on. I'm really excited to see him play a lot more games now. And Thursday night is going to be his big chance, isn't it? Because I thought he was.
The thing is, you've got to be careful, Vieira, because if he I don't know if they got it where he's in Portugal, but they must have. If he goes to McDonald's and has a Big Mac meal, it'd double the size of his weight, wouldn't he? So he's got to be a bit careful.
It would do, yeah, it would do. I don't think it's called a Big Mac in Portugal, though, is it? It's probably called something else. But anyway, maybe it is. I don't know. Loki says the best we've played at the old toilet for years. Yeah, it was in many ways. I agree. Terry says, hooray, all finished, only 9 hours to go. I finished work with you, Terry. Good lad. Good to see you. Getting a bit of time off. Robert says it's just barely September and we're talking about table placement, passion merchants. I'll tell you. Well, you know, we're just enjoying it because we've not often been at this high up the league before at any point in the season. So it's just nice to be.
I've not seen Rich this happy since I've known him, to be honest with you.
No, well, when we've been top of the league, Steve, it's nice. I want to enjoy it because I know it's not going to last. And Robert says,
are we going to have to dinner tonight or something? Table placement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, we can do. Robert says, much love from the States, so I'm glad Banter FC is rounding into form. No, exactly. That's what we like to see. And, you know, greetings to you in the States as well. And we look forward to many battles against you guys again, I'm sure, coming up, some bigger battles for trophies again, as we had all those years ago. So, yeah. But you were a bit lucky yesterday. You know, but anyway, that's the way.
Can I just say something to the Man United guy? And I'm being very.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
I'm a fair guy. We were lucky against them when we played at home.
We were actually. Yeah, that's a fair point. We were lucky.
These things happen in football, so let's just get on with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've been saying on my Tuesday night podcast, as you guys know, from the beginning of the season, that I'm seeing it. I'm actually, you know, all joking aside, I'm actually seeing a change in what Ten Hag's doing. Still think he's got a couple of seasons to go, but what he's doing, you can see that within that team. I got to say, I mean, I've always wished we bought Rashford, and I think that the Rashford goal when they caught us flat-footed was absolutely on top. So you know, you can see what he's trying to do. We're still going to beat you at the Emirates, though. That's all that matters. All right, that's all that's going to happen, boys. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And of course the Europa League as well, where we may well meet them later on in that as well. That'd be nice, won't it? So there could be a few more meetings between us and Man United yet this season.
And when Tottenham crash out of the into the Europa League as well, that'll be interesting.
Possibly, you never know. Loki says they're in Portugal. They have a big mackerel. Well, there you go. Maybe he needs to eat a few of them, doesn't he? That'll sort him right out, I'm sure. Sardines. When the sardines follow the trawler, it's because you know, all that. So anyway, obviously talking of you know, European stuff, we do have a start of our new European campaign. It feels nice and fresh, doesn't it? Because we had a season out, now we're back in, raring to go in Europe again. And look at that trophy. It's beautiful as well, isn't it? Well, what a lovely trophy that is. I kind of want us to win this at some stage. And this season will be a great opportunity. Now, obviously, we're starting with a reasonably straightforward looking game away in Zurich. They're actually near the joint bottom of their league, actually, despite winning it last season. They've had a terrible start. So we're going to be massive favourites to get off to a good start. I mean, I'm assuming that we're all going to probably feel the same about the team lineup. We're probably looking at 9, 10, 11 changes, aren't we, from the Premier League starting 11. I mean, Melvin, what would you be looking at for the team for Thursday? Obviously, players that haven't got many minutes or no minutes at all in the Premier League.
I think it'd be wrong if he makes that many changes. However poor we might think okay. Because we've seen it before in FA Cup ties. We play an inferior team, and the players look disjointed. The other teams smell it and have a go at us, and we struggle. I'd like to see six the most, 5 or 6, no more than that, honestly. No more than that. Because it is important we continue in Europe. If we get beat by them, I mean, it's all of a sudden the pressure's on us against Everton, isn't it? I know they say, we're a stronger team for Everton, but it's all about momentum this game. That's why we've got to beat this team. And we've got to beat Everton on Sunday. And they did play well against Liverpool. I mean, their goal, Everton's goal was out of this world. But they did play very, very well, Everton. Yeah, so I think we're saying about we just beat Everton. No, we've got to really beat Everton. Got to really go at them and don't take anything lightly. And if we're not playing well, if our confidence has taken a knock because we didn't beat this team the other night, next Thursday, sorry boys, no good for me. We've got to just do it. Just go on like a machine the whole time, like the good teams do. Go on and on and on until we've got a bit of breathing space. So no, I don't want to see wholesale changes. Not at all.
Who would you like to see come in then? If you're only going to make a few, who would you like to see start?
Cedric, obviously. I think I'd like to see him get the other game. I'd like to see Tommy play because he hasn't played much.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Vieira play. Eddie play. I'm talking about players that haven't played, that are good, but haven't played for various reasons. I would have said Smith Rowe, obviously, that's not going to happen. Who else will it be? Centre half Holding, because we don't want to lose, so I'll definitely play Holding at centre half. Right? The left back, Tierney. And that's midfield, we can't really change, Richard. That's what I've got to keep it. We've got no.
Yeah, well, we haven't got any options there, have we? No, so yeah.
And Saka, I'll just give Saka a rest and Vieira take his place. That's the about team I'd like to play.
What about goalkeeper? Would you bring Matt Turner in for his first game?
No, sorry, not until I haven't got the confidence in him yet. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I haven't really seen that much of him actually, but yeah, I mean, it's another option, isn't it? I mean, I'm quite surprised that we've just spoken about obviously potentially injuries and squad certain positions, and you want to keep the same players playing when the risk of an injury is going to increase the more games they play. I don't know.
I'm not telling you to play like Saka's and people like that and Jesus, players like that who run around for 90 minutes. I'm talking about players that haven't played all the time, Richard. People that get the odd 20 minutes here and there. Give them a run out.
No, I mean, I agree. I think they should definitely get a run out. They need. This is what this competition, the group stage, certainly is going to be for this season, isn't it? Giving players minutes so that when they do have to play in the Premier League, as we've seen with Sambi Lokonga, they've maybe been a little bit more in tune with the pace of the game because they've played some games in Europe, haven't they? So I think it's important that they do get minutes. I 100% agree. I mean, Steve, would you be looking at more changes in Melvin, or would you be looking at similar kind of?
Obviously, Gabby giving a rest to Marquinhos. Really want to see Marquinhos play.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's been playing particularly well. Totally agree. I'd actually want to see Tommy Asu play, to be honest with you. I want to see him get some minutes. I want to see him get some minutes because, he's a warrior. Totally agree with Saka giving 5 minutes peace and quiet. I want to see Eddie up front because Eddie, again, sorry, Eddie, I have not been his biggest fan. I really haven't. But getting him some minutes, when he's come on, he has been a nightmare. So having Eddie there, giving Jesus a rest because Jesus again played out of his skin on Sunday. I just think it's nice to be able to talk about these types of players. I want to see Sambi in there again as well. Get some minutes for him because I just think it would be too much for Zurich. I genuinely do. But it's what you said, Richard, earlier. We need to come out and absolutely stamp authority on them and absolutely batter them. Do not take this lightly. Do not take this for fun. Go in there and batter them. Absolutely batter them as if it's a North London derby. And take it to them. And I think we've got enough in reserve in those players to do that. And then that leads us beautifully into Sunday, but ready for the Everton game where everybody's had a rest. That they've probably travelled to Europe anyway. I mean, Zurich's not particularly far for the guys. They've gone to Zurich. They've watched us win, and that mentality's back in again. But just getting in that energy and drive that we've got, that hunting impacts, that 2-3 players sitting around, moving. I'd like to see Odegaard dropped as well. I want 5 minutes for him because he's run miles and miles and miles. Maybe Vieira could take that place. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But then who do we put out on the right? Do we put Marquinhos on the left, Vieira in the middle? Who do you put out on the right? As someone just said, what about Nelson? Unfortunately, Reece Nelson's injured because this would be perfect for him.
Mark C said there, Nelson. Yeah, he is injured.
Yeah, which is a real shame for us because this would be just the game for him to get in and because I think I think Nelson's got something that he can give us this season. I genuinely do.
He's run out of time, in my opinion, Steve. He's run out of time. He's been here quite a few years.
He's been here a long time. Yeah, he's had opportunities. He hasn't really took them, has he, properly? So I kind of agree. I think maybe he'd be better off moving on and starting his career elsewhere because he's had plenty of chances and not really cut it, has he, at Arsenal? A bit like Ainsley Maitland-Niles, similar, kind of situation, isn't it, with them two, I think. But yeah, he's injured at the minute, so there's not a lot we can do about that. Mark C says there, Saka gets kicked to bits in Premier games. I'll definitely rest him on Thursday, 100%. Yeah, he definitely needs a rest. I would actually leave him at home. I wouldn't even travel him over there. I'd leave him at home to rest up and get massage and get ready for Sunday. I personally would. But no doubt he'll be on the bench, I would assume, if he doesn't play. Just that's probably the way it is. What about the goalkeeper, Steve? What about the goalkeeper situation? What would you do there?
rotate them. Listen, if he's not busy on Thursday, come on the podcast. Come on and talk to us.
Come on, Adam Show on Thursday. That'd be good.
Yeah. If you're getting rubbed, I can't make it because I'm in Birmingham. But B, if you're about, mate, come on as our guest. You can take the show. Adam would love it. He's a big Star Wars fan. All that type of good stuff. No, I want to see Ramsdale rotated out. I really do. Matt, what's his name? Get him. We have to give him a chance.
I agree with you. I would definitely change that as well. Neil, what would you do for this Zurich game then? I think we should have enough in the squad to be too strong for them. I think we can win this game, whoever we pick out of the players that we've got. Would you make a lot of changes, or are you like Melvin, maybe think that it's too risky to make too many in one go, or would you maybe look at resting most of the team? I'm tempted to at the moment.
Wow, really, Richard? No, I'm a bit worried if we do that. I think for the reasons Melvin quite rightly said, in my opinion, if we make too many changes, it might cause a little bit of a discontinued continuity within how the players are working with each other, and it could backfire. Who knows? It might work the other way around, and they might be all so up for it. They might be absolutely fantastic. I remember many years ago when Wenger used to play literally a second string of players in the League Cups, and we used to sometimes put in some great performances, and that team would have got us to quite late stages of that competition. So we could have a repetition of that. Who knows if we do go for literally a wholesome change? But my fear is I think there's still a little bit of a risk with that. I think the players that the lads have mentioned are right. The changes. Vieira. I think Holding maybe a good idea. Tomiyasu 100%. Tierney. Players like that and Eddie and Kantira, of course, because I think you're right, Steve. I wasn't his biggest fan. I thought he should leave the club. I thought his days are numbered. But God, every time he's come on from the bench, he's been outstanding. Outstanding. So I think it'll be only fair to give him a full game and let's see what he can do. And it's his time to shine. The goalkeeper worries me. I don't know much about Turner. I really don't. And I don't know who the other option is, but I think we just stay with Ramsdale. I don't think Ramsdale really needs a rest, although he did pull up, didn't he? Was it the last game or was it the Villa game?
Yeah, Aston Villa game. Yeah.
So that might be a little bit of a concern. I don't know whether maybe they should. I don't know if they want to look into that, but time will tell. I agree with you, Saka. He should just stay at home. I 100% agree with that.
Come on the show. He should stay at home and come on the show. That's what he said.
That's what I thought Steve was talking about.
Come on the show.
He was saying, "Come on the show." I thought he was talking about Saka.
He was. That's what he was saying.
But he's got nothing. If he's got nothing better to do other than have his legs rubbed, along with bring Smith Rowe on as well. Why not? He's not going. It's those boys that come on the show. Come on.
No, absolutely. I really honestly am gutted for Smith Rowe because I think this would have been his tournament. 100% it would have been.
It still might be later.
Yeah, let's hope it's not a bad one. Yeah, let's hope it's not. Let's be positive. Let's hope it's not a bad one. He's back within 3 weeks or whatever it is. But I would go for a mixed bag, Richard. I wouldn't be a complete 11 or 10 change. I would go for a mixed bag. Have some of the players that have been there and experience what it feels like, barring the result, against Man U. We've had 5 victories and maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 of those players should be in that starting 11 just to keep that continuity, just to keep that momentum as what Melvin was describing. I don't think it would be fair to make a complete change. But then we never know. We don't know what Arteta's going to do. It could be completely a different 11. And you know what? Although I might not welcome that, it'll be interesting because if they do really well, that means that we've come such a long way. It really has in terms of our squad depth.
This is kind of my point. What I want to see in the Europa League group stage in general, but obviously starting on Thursday, I want to see Marquinhos play because I've not seen him play yet. I want to see Fabio Vieira get a game. I want to see players who aren't, and we can bring in players on the bench such as Tierney, Tomiyasu, Rob Holding, all experienced Premier League players for us, so it's not going to weaken the team. It's still a strong team that can go out and get a result. So I wouldn't mind if there was 8 or 9 changes because it's going to mean, I say, Manquillos will be playing, Vieira will be playing, Nketiah will be playing. The goalkeeper. I want to see the goalkeeper play, see what he's like. Because if he has to play in the Premier League, we want to at least know that he's played a game or 2 before. So we've had a chance, 1, to see what he's like, and 2, he's got used to playing in front of the defence in a match situation as opposed to just in training. So I'd like to see him play. Tierney, as we said, Holding, Cedric, bring all them players that sit on the bench every week, get them minutes, because if we need them in the Premier League, we want them to have some game time, some match sharpness in them, I think. And I would like to see that. So I wouldn't be too bothered if we made 8 or 9 changes, actually, because I think we've got a strong enough player to come in and win this game.
You still need that core of experience, though. Right,
Tierney, we've got Tierney, we've got Holding, we've got Cedric, Tomiyasu. All these players have got experience. Eddie Nketiah's played in the Premier League a lot. He's got a lot of goals last season. You know, so it's not a weak team, is it? It's just changes to the standard 11 that's been playing week in, week out in the Premier League, isn't it? For me, that's what I would like to see. Just because I want to wrap some of these players in cotton wool, because if we get 1 or 2 more injuries, we could be in a bit of trouble in the Premier League, and I don't want that.
My only thing with it, Rich, is because we've come off a loss now, and if we do that and we lose another one, as Melvin said, it might really put some doubt. You know, heads could start dropping. It's only human nature. All I would suggest is we go maybe half and half of this game. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I've no idea. But all I'm suggesting is, don't take too much of a chance. Just for the first game that we're going into, make sure we get that under the table, get the win on Sunday, get ourselves back on track again, and then maybe for the next game for Europe, do exactly what you suggested to give them a run around. Maybe because the Thursday. Can you imagine if we suffer 2 losses now after 5 wins on the trot? It would.
I just look at FC Zurich and think that we should, wherever 11 players are representing Arsenal in that game, should be strong enough to beat FC Zurich. You know, they got knocked. Karabag from Azerbaijan, or wherever they're from, knocked them out of the Champions League qualifiers. Right? They're not a very good. They haven't won a game in the league this season in the Swiss league. Right? They're not a very good team at this moment. Yes, they won the league
going to come and play us though.
Well, yeah, they haven't won a game yet. So I'm looking at this game and thinking it's a great first game in the group stage, because they're a team that we should beat. Looking at their current form, looking at where they are. Regardless of what 11 players that we play, yes, it's a risk. If you make that many changes, of course it's a risk. And if we don't win the game, then it's a massive problem, isn't it? And it is that side of it as well. But I just want to see some of these players get game time, get on that pitch, start game and get minutes on, because I think that's what they're going to need. Because if we're going to need them in the Premier League.
Richard, fear not, they will. There's so many games we've got coming up. I think it's been mentioned in the chat. It's quite right. We've got so many games coming up. They're going to get their chances. I promise you, they will.
Yeah,
we've got the League Cup as well, aren't we? Coming up.
Yeah, we've got the League Cup. That's not till November though now. But we have got the League Cup to come as well. I mean, Shane's in the chat there. He says we have 2 games a week for the next few weeks in October. Yeah, we do, because of Europa League. We have Spurs on City. We need to rest players and get minutes and legs of some players. Definitely make 4 or 5 chances. Everyone's going 4 and 5. See, I'm thinking 7 or 8. Even I am personally, but you know, I just want to protect some of our players that are so important in the league. That's all. And I think we should beat FC Zurich. I think us 4 could play and we'd still beat FC Zurich, if I'm honest. But
don't count on me, Rich, please.
I'm in goal, mate. I've got big.
Yeah, you gain goals, Steve. That's fine. You can gain goals.
Just heard Man United been summoned to the FA to comment on them surrounding the referee. Hold on. No, sorry, they're summoned to the FA because the FA got to apologise, so they booked 2 of their players. Got it wrong.
They booked 3 of them actually, but yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
But seriously, they surrounded the ref.
Well, they always have, haven't they? Man United, they've made a history of that, haven't they? Surrounding referees, it's what they do.
It's not right, is it? It doesn't stand again.
No, it's not right, but it's what they do. And the referees need to be stronger and stop it, and they don't. But Paul Tierney was never going to, was he? Because it's his local team, isn't it? He's normally on the Stretford end, isn't he? Generally, when they're, you know, when he's not refereeing, he's on the Stretford end, isn't he? In his Man United scarf and that. So, you know, we have to understand that's what we're up against, and that's the way it is, really. But anyway, but yeah, so there's going to be some changes on Thursday. I think we know that. Quick score prediction, Melvin. FC Zurich against Arsenal. What are you going with?
3-0 to us.
3-0, fantastic. Okay, that's good. Steve, what are you thinking, FC Zurich?
I'm thinking 4. Eddie gets a hat-trick.
Oh, Eddie hat-trick. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? An Eddie hat-trick in Europa League. I think you got one before, didn't he, in Europa League before? Yeah. Neil, what are you thinking, the FC Zurich game?
2. I'll be conservative. Let the boys have the big score today. 2-0, and I'm going to go with Vieira scoring.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. You went 6-0 when we were playing Aston Villa or whatever it was, and you're going 2-0 against FC Zurich.
I thought we were going to go 28-0 or something against
That's
them.
what I was thinking. I think he's going 10-0 here, isn't he? He's going 10-0 and he goes 2-0.
It's coming. Don't worry. I'm going to give you a 10-0 soon. Don't worry.
I'm sure you will. Mark's gone for 4-0. I mean, I'm going for 3-0 like Melvin. I think we'll win the game pretty comfortably, but we won't overexert ourselves. We'll get a couple of goals in the first half and stroll around, get a third goal, go home nice and comfy, ready for what is now becoming a really, really big game on Sunday, isn't it? There wasn't long ago at the Emirates, were they? The last game of last season. They're back already. Of course, it is Everton on Sunday. Now, every time we play Everton, we say the same thing. They've got an absolutely terrible record away at Arsenal, absolutely horrendous record at Arsenal they have. And every year we end up beating them, and it's the same. Now, they are unbeaten in 4 games, actually. It's 4 draws in a row, and they're steadily getting better in their performances, actually, after a bad start. And they made some good signings as well in the recent kind of weeks in the transfer window as well. So I don't think this game's going to be as straightforward as I was anticipating a few weeks ago, when I thought we would hammer them about 5-0. But now I'm thinking they look a lot more solid. They're playing better. And I think, obviously, coming off the back of this Man United defeat, it's a massive game now because we do need to bounce back. It's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be an easy game at all, because I think Everton now are looking a lot stronger. I mean, Melvin, what are you? I know obviously you're going on Sunday. What are you kind of anticipating for it, though? Because we need to win, obviously, but I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as some of our other home games have been.
Well, when you think about it, not a lot of our home games have been that straightforward. We started off straightforward.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's really
off near the end, holding on to a degree. I think it'll be very similar this week. Hopefully, we can get the early goal or the first goal, and because otherwise, they are a strong team now. He's got them playing. He's done very well now in that short summer period. A couple of good signings, and
I think
obviously woken up to what they got to do. They've got a bit more spirit in them, it seems. As I say, and they played Liverpool, so that made them play better anyway. But they did actually play very well. They could have got beaten easy, don't get me wrong, but they did show a lot of spirit, a lot of hard work. And they've got this new right back who's improved the team as well to no end. So it will be tough for us. Every game's tough, but this will be one of the tougher ones, I'm sure. So, yes, I think we will do it, but we've got to be very careful.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it is a really, really tough game. And Loki's put his score prediction for the Zurich game. He's gone 1-6 to the Arsenal. That would be nice, wouldn't it? We like a bit of 1-6, which is always good. Shane says there, he makes a good point. With football in Champions League and Europa League, we will hear very little about refs and VAR. 100% we won't probably hear about it at all. I wouldn't imagine. And Mark says there, Everton will park the bus, 5 at the back, 4 across the middle. Yeah, I'm sure they will, looking to keep it tight and maybe try and get a 5th draw in a row. I'm sure that's what they'll come for. I mean, Steve, I know you're going as well, aren't you, on Sunday? What are you sort of anticipating? I mean, I think Everton will do exactly what Mark says. I think they'll get everybody behind the ball, make it difficult for us, and try and hang on for a draw or catch us on a break or a set piece.
Everybody's turned up at the Emirates over the last few games, and I've talked about the stats on this. Have done exactly that, and it plays into it'll just play into us. Unless they can get us on a break like Man U did. I genuinely believe it'll be 2-0, but it's going to be a really, really tight one, or even 2-1. If I'm honest with you, I think it's going to be a tight game. Still think we're too much for them. They haven't got a proven goal scorer, and Fat Frank can get working however he wants. Ultimately, we are better than them. We will win because we are Arsenal and we're top of the league.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, you're 100% correct. And Everton do have a terrible, terrible record away at Arsenal as well, which is another thing that goes against them in our favour, which is always nice. I mean, Neil, is this going to be your 10-0 prediction maybe or not this game?
No, the 10-0 will come later in the season when you least expect it.
Oh, okay, against Man City.
Away at Man City. Yeah,
that'll be the one. That's the one. That's got 10-0 written all over it. That.
Yeah, the wrong way though. I think.
Well, probably. Yeah.
I think we're going to be too much. I agree with the lads. I think we're going to win. I mean, obviously, I did a silly 2-0 against Zurich, but it's still a win. And I think that whatever result we get against them, I think it's going to lift the boys. They're going to say, look, we've come off the back of a loss. We've responded straight away in Europe. Probably not with the regular 11, but we've still managed to do the job. And that will buoy everyone else, especially the ones that have had a bit of a rest. And I think we're going to spank them 5-0.
Everton. You think we're going to beat Everton 5-0?
Yes.
Wow, that's
I'm praying. One of them's got to work. The 5-0 prediction, it's got to happen, and I think it's going to. I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. I think we're going to be I think they're going to be really hurt from what happened against Man United. You could see in the interview with Odegaard, he was really upset. He was really disgusted. Yeah, he was. You know, whatever we might say of it, he genuinely believed that was not a foul. It kind of disrupted the whole game going forward from there. And I think they're hurting, and I think they've got something massive to prove, and we're better to do it, but do it at home. And I think we're going to be too much for them, and I think we're going to see the similar kind of starts we've had earlier in the season, where we're just going to completely overhaul them within the first 15-20 minutes. Yeah. I think it might be 3 or 4-0 before half time.
Wow, I mean that is I mean, as Mark says in the chat there, Blimey, Blimey says, yeah, I mean that shocked me actually. I know Neil's Mr. Optimistic. He's gone 2-0 in Zurich, and now he's gone 5-0 against Everton. So that has shocked me as well. But I mean, wouldn't that be great if we did? Terry says we need to start taking our chances. We do against Man United actually. On yesterday we had 13 shots off target and only 3 on target. So we've got to improve that. And that's been the case in a lot of our games this season, actually. Our finishing has not been good enough. We're creating plenty of chances, and we're not really putting enough on target and scoring enough goals with them. So we do need to put that right. And maybe you're right, Neil. Maybe Sunday today when they all fly in. Top corner, lovely, brilliant stuff. It would be good if it was 5-0. So obviously, Steve went 2-0. Mel, what was your prediction for the Everton game?
I was also going, I hadn't, but I would have gone 2-0 as well.
Yeah. You would have gone 2-0 as well, yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot tougher than what Neil's predicting, actually. I do think Everton are going to be a tough nut to crack. And, you know, we have, the last 2 home games, it have been, you know, we've been the better team and we've deserved to win the games, but they've not been easy wins. And I think I can see another one again. I think it may well end up being 2-1. And we'll get the 3 points, which is the most important thing. Loki says there, Neil has a fine attitude. 5-2. Loki's going with. Wow, it's a few goals this week then, Loki. 6 on Thursday and another 5 on Sunday. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Wow, that'd be a good week. We'd enjoy that, wouldn't we? But I'm not too sure if we'll score 5. Yeah, that'd be exciting games, wouldn't they? Definitely, if that was the case. But yeah, I mean, I think we'll win, obviously, at home to Everton. I think we'll be massive favourites again and get back on track in the Premier League. I think the most important thing is we're going to lose games. Everybody loses games. Man City lose games. Liverpool lose games. Everybody loses games. The important thing is that you don't let that become 2 or 3 defeats. Yeah. Even if you get a win here, a draw there, another couple of wins, and you build up another little unbeaten run, that's what we need to do. Because we have got, as has been mentioned in the chat already, we've got some really tough games coming up, haven't we, against some of the better teams now. You know, we've had a reasonably nice run of fixtures so far, but we have got some really tough games coming up, and it's important that we go into those games confident, in good form, and try to pick up as many points as we can from them. And if we do that, we're going to be in a great position, aren't we? If we can come out the next 4 or 5 games, we've got Brentford away, that's tough. You know, we've got Tottenham, we've got Liverpool, we've got Man City to come, Leeds away, all these difficult games. So it's going to be a tough run, but let's hope that we can get some results in them. Shane says, is Partey back for Everton? How good has Xhaka been this season? Brilliant. I think you're right. Xhaka has been brilliant, and I think we've all given him maximum amount of praise for how he's been playing this season, and long way that. I'm not sure about Partey. Do we know? Does anyone know? Is Partey going to be fit for Everton?
He's back. Oh. Yeah, apparently he's back this weekend. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
6-0 then.
Oh, 6-0 from Neil if Partey's fit. Okay. But well, if he is fit, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? I mean, I know they were sort of worried it was going to be a bit longer than that. Maybe that's why they didn't panic into buying another player, and maybe they knew he was going to be back soon. That might be why. Let's hope so. And Mark says every 6 games, if we lose 1, that's good form. Yeah, it is, as long as we're winning most of the other 5 and not drawing 2. But having said that, though, how often do we draw games under Mikel Arteta? We don't, do we?
8, wasn't it? You said.
I think it's 12 in total, but 4 of them were in the first 6 games. So it's only been 8 since his first 6 games. Wow. So we don't draw very often, do we? So we either win or lose. Let's hope if we win 5 and lose 1 every 6, we'll be all right, won't we?
Perfect.
Rich, there's something I said last week. At what point do we actually turn around as fans and say, actually, do you know what? We've got a good team. Yeah, I think as Arsenal fans, we like to kind of flagellate ourselves and go around and go, oh, shit, for this, for that, you know, blah, blah, blah. But at some point, we've got to turn around and say, actually, we've got a good team. You know, people are going to be scared to come to the Emirates, you know, and I haven't felt that way for a very, very long time. And it doesn't matter if we win, you know, on its 5 games and lose 2. I don't mind. We are at a point now, I believe, where people genuinely worry about us. They genuinely worry about that team. And we have not beaten mugs. We've beaten very, very good sides leading up to this. And, the last part of it was yesterday was I think we made too many substitutions too quickly because I think we were overrunning them. So I think as Arsenal fans, we should be proud and actually turn around and say, we've got a good team now. We might not win the league. We might not. We haven't got Haaland or whatever. But you know what? We genuinely have a good team. And when I'm just sort of thinking there about who we're going to bring in for Thursday, it's a really good team. You've got these really good players. And again, we haven't been in that position. Threadbare. When we were at Newcastle together, Rich, it was threadbare. Hanging off. Everybody's cramping. Everybody was injured. Now actually got some decent players that we can bring in. Turn around and say, that's great. Party's coming back this weekend. Who's going to take over from Sandby?
Steve, you nailed it, mate. And just don't forget, we are the greatest team the world has ever seen. So there's no question about that. Okay. I think you're totally right. I think it's we've got to start being proud of ourselves. It's a great performance so far this season, and I think as Arsenal fans, we do err on the side of caution too much, and we're always kind of, I wouldn't say pessimistic, but we don't laud ourselves enough when we deserve it, and I think we should. That still was and you know what, the greatest, in a way, the only consolation I took of the loss yesterday is the way the Man United club and the club itself and the fans, the way they reacted, because they knew that was a damn good result against a very good side. And that is the greatest testament that you could give us, because now they're really appreciating the fact that, oh my God, we actually beat Arsenal, because they must have been scared. I'm not going to swear. Must have been scared, that word, when they saw that Martinelli goal. Obviously it was scrubbed off, but the way that goal was put together and how fast it was, and I think the way they reacted at the full-time whistle, I think that's a testament to us, because they thought, wow, we've just beaten Arsenal.
You're absolutely right. But the reason for that is quite simple, the reason for that, Neil, and it's this.
Do you know what?
That's why everybody is now scared of us, because of that reason.
You know what? You have changed. This season. I've never seen Rich smile.
Hanging around with Steve too much. That's the problem.
Never seen him smile and laugh so much, and I think he's actually quietly inside. It's like Fever Pitch, where he goes, "I think deep down I knew we were going to win 2-0. I think deep down Rich knows we're going to win the league. He knows deep down we're going to win it."
That would be lovely, actually, wouldn't it? To do a Leicester, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? But let's be honest, I'm enjoying it at the moment, and I keep playing the weird top league thing because I want to enjoy being top of the league, because we don't know how long it's going to last. It's lasted a bit longer already than I was maybe anticipating it would. So I'm going to enjoy it for at least another week, and let's hope after Sunday we can enjoy it next week as well on the show, and it's going to be great, because it is. As Steve rightly says, I think we have got a very good team now. I still think we've got 1 or 2 issues that we need to improve on, obviously, and I think we need to realise that, and I'm sure we all do. And Willie's put a good point in there. He says Arsenal defence very green compared to other Big Six teams, and to a certain point, I agree with that. What I would say is we've had Ben White playing at right back, who's not his regular position. True. We've had William Saliba come in for his first season at the club, so his first time in the Premier League. So that's different. And Zinchenko coming at left back, who's just joined the club. So it's kind of a new look defence in a way so far this season, and maybe it's not quite gelling completely yet. The other top 6 teams have got a more settled defence, haven't they? Yeah. And I think that's the difference. And I'm sure our defence is going to improve. Yeah, and I agree. At the moment, we're making a few silly defensive mistakes. We've conceded a few too many goals, if we're honest, from what we should be doing. But I think that will improve as they get more used to playing each other. And I'm assuming Tommy Ash is going to eventually be playing right back again anyway. And I think that'll improve us. Maybe, as Melvin said before, Tierney at left back, maybe Zinchenko in the midfield, and maybe that's how we'll end up going with it. And we'll end up with a slightly stronger defensive record, which I think we need. But I agree, that is a big area at the minute. And obviously the backup in midfield is a problem, as we know. But I agree. Let's go with what Steve said. I think he's right. We have got a good team. Let's enjoy this team at this moment while we can. And it's going to hopefully get better, because they're still young and they're improving. And we could well have a few great years to come. But let's enjoy it at the moment. We're winning games. We're top of the league. And that's what we all want to see, isn't it, at the end of the day? That's what we're here for. We want to enjoy it. Exactly. North London.
Go on, Rich.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. Melvin, you have got a great show for us on Wednesday, haven't you?
Well, I've had 2 very, very good guests. but I've got someone. I wasn't sure about the guy. I'd never met either of them before, but I knew of their reputation. I was happy to get them on. But this guy's a personal friend of mine, and speaking to him today, and really, I like to keep it down to an hour, but I'm tempted. I am tempted. This guy, I'm just saying, it'll be a different type of show than what I normally do. It'll be on exactly the same emphasis, but with a slightly different angle to it. A little bit, let's put it this way, more information. And I can't wait.
He's got Bukayo Saka, hasn't he?
No, he's
doing the 1960s, Steve. Bukayo Saka wasn't even born.
Yeah. Now, this guy, as I say, a good personal friend of mine, known him for years, and he's been out supporting Arsenal same time as me, and he's been at a lot more games than me. He's gone to practically every away game as well. I'm talking for years and years and years. And if Arsenal are not playing at home or away, they've looked for the reserve team to follow. He's fantastically, really he is Mr. Arsenal as a fan.
I can't wait.
No, you've got to go with this geezer. If Bistow did an advert, they'd call him Mr. He's a different gravy, put it that way. I'm really looking forward to it anyway. I love the show anyway. I think it's got, it's got legs. But this one in particular, I'm very excited about. So hopefully, come and give it a look. You might even enjoy it.
Definitely enjoy it. That's on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I say the Highbury Matters show. What years are you doing this week?
We're doing 6, 7, 7, 8, 66, 67, 67, 68.
Oh, okay, just that's the year I was born, 68, so that's a good time. So that is going to be a great show. We look forward to that on Wednesday. Really looking forward to that as always. The previous two, if you haven't watched the two previous Highbury Matter shows, they're on the channel. Look in the playlist. All the shows have got their own separate little playlist. Go in there, have a look at those two shows because they're fantastic. And this one looks like it's going to be just as good, if not even better, which would be great. So definitely tune into that one on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And Steve, you're back tomorrow, aren't you, for your... Good time show. We can't get rid of you. What's going on?
Come on, North London again. So I'm gonna take a few of the things that we talked about today. I'm gonna look at the statistics. Have a look forward to Europe. Have a look how the rest of the Premiership did. Pick out some of the key games that sit on there and what I was listening to, and just have a bit of a chat really. So again, taking it to the next level. Really looking forward to it. Very excited. We've got Adam on there, the voice of reason. Takes my enthusiasm, curbs it, kind of puts it into whatever it is, and we go there. So I'm looking forward to that. So a bit more on the statistics side. I really want to have a look at the formations, and I might do a little bit of trip down memory lane on some of the formations that Arteta's done in the past against Manchester United and see how that goes. Just as Terry just said, 66, great year. 67 was the one for me. I made my guest appearance. So that's what we're doing. So a bit more analytical on the back of it. Probably a bit of wine this time. Back of it. So I'm sure Adam and I will be talking about what type of grape. So if there are any wine sponsors out there that actually want to sponsor my wine, please feel free. And Bukayo, you're not allowed to have any because we need you fit for Sunday.
Yes, definitely not. No, Bukayo, don't have the wine, but you can join in with the show. Just stay off the wine. Have the water like me and Neil. That's what you need to do, and then you'll be fine. And Neil, of course, unfortunately, you don't have a show yet, but hopefully one day you might well get yourself a show on the channel. That's what we want. We want maybe call it the Mad Prediction Show and have like 6 wins every week.
Yes.
Stuff like that. Maybe do that.
That's a good idea. I could do
things that ain't going to happen. Show.
Like the old Paul thing, where you get like a little thing and you can kind of work it through.
Oh mate, do you know Melvin? Your guest. It's if you did it in an advert, it would be if Carlsberg did Arsenal fans. You see, remember?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, should do that.
Carlsberg
I've got an intro I've got to do for Richard for the show, so I might use that one.
There, feel free. And Steve, you're right. Adam is Mr. Calm, is he not? Oh my gosh.
Oh god,
he's so calm.
Annoyingly calm. Calm, Adam.
But he's brilliant. He's so brilliant with it as well. He really is.
He's very dry, isn't he? His sense of humour is so dry.
Yeah.
I think he's absolutely fantastic.
What people don't realise of Adam actually is before each show, his son makes him a cocktail. So his son's got into, right? Seriously, his son's got into making cocktails. So, but unfortunately, his son's 13 years old. So it's like the old days. You used to get a little note, go buy me some fags down the shop. So Adam's got to buy all the alcohol. So they have a menu of cocktails. I love it. I love the idea of it. I'm going round to his house one day. But they have a menu of cocktails. and his son just knocks up these cocktails while he's before the show. So I think the reason he's so calm is because he's half cut before he comes on.
That may be the reason.
If they ever remade that film Cocktail, they've got to get his son on the main.
That's it, absolutely. Do an Arsenal version at the Tollington.
Yeah.
That would be good, wouldn't it? That would be good, wouldn't it? See, we're getting a few sponsors lined up already, aren't we? So we're going to be fine. We are going to be fine. Shane's in the chat. He says Highbury Matters is just brilliant. Nothing but admire both guests. No, absolutely fantastic. It is a great show. And this week's one looks like it's going to be, say, just as good as the others. I say, if not possibly even better. If it can get better, who knows? Because it's been so good so far. So we definitely look forward to that. And obviously, Steve's great show tomorrow on Tuesday as well. The extra time show. That's always a lot of fun. And yeah, if you are a wine company, you want to sponsor Steve's show, then please feel free. And I'm sure he'll take any amount of free wine that you're going to supply him.
better tasted and tested. Any spirits other than carpet cleaner. Like that's what I'm on the line of that. Yeah.
I'm. If anyone is watching to do this company, anyone sponsors Ovaltine, please, for my show.
That would be perfect, actually, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Have the little logo up in the corner, sponsored by Ovaltine. That would be perfect, actually. It's Ovaltine. If you are still in business, I don't know if you are. If you are still in business and you're watching, get in touch and sponsor Melvin's show because you'd be the right fit actually for that as well. So that would be good.
I thought you were going to say Hovis. Melvin.
Well, Hovis good as well, actually, couldn't it? I suppose it's a similar kind of
basically, what we're saying is if there's any food, any drink, or any heating appliances that you can give for free, like we'll have it. It's not a problem. We're there.
Exactly there. Yeah, exactly. Terry says a great show again, chat's very emotional. See you during the week. If not, have a good night all in the chat. Yeah, cheers, Terry. Speak to you later. I'm sure you'll be in one or two of the other shows that we've got lined up. So I'll say tomorrow at 8:00 it's Steve's Extra Time show with Adam. That is going to be fantastic. Wednesday, Highbury Matters with Melvin and a very special guest. That is really exciting. We're looking forward to that one. On Thursday, of course, it's Europa League night, so I'll be doing a watch along. It's early kickoff, so we'll be live at 5:30. It's 5:45 kickoff. And Adam is hoping to still get his Arsenal social show in after the game, so that'll be good as well. Maybe a little bit later this week because of the game and stuff like that, but hopefully that'll go on Thursday. And then Friday, it's the start of the new season for the Arsenal women. So we've got the Arsenal women show Friday evening at 7:30 because the first game starts, the season starts on Friday night, but Arsenal's first game is Sunday against Manchester City away, which is going to be great. A lot of the England Lionesses players will be playing that one. I'm going to that game. So that's going to be good. So unfortunately, I won't be able to do a watch along of the Everton game because I'll be travelling to Manchester. But I'm sure that we'll all enjoy it anyway. And so loads of good stuff on the channel coming up. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing because there's so much great stuff that you're just going to miss it if you don't subscribe. And click on the notification bell as well because there's so much great stuff that you don't want to miss any of it because it's all good. And give it a like as well, as Loki said before. That would be much appreciated. So thank you very much to all you guys for watching, all you guys in the chat as well. Fantastic to have you guys all on board. Even a Man United fan from America, we loved it.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
Fella. We love you, really.
Thanks for tuning in. And I'm sure we'll have some good battles with you guys as well going forward. I'm sure we will. Look forward to that. Shane says, brilliant show again, lads. Thank you. Thank you very much, Shane, again, for your support of the channel and for joining us again, of course. Thank you very much, of course, to Melvin, who did get a little bit animated tonight, which we quite enjoyed. The angry Melvin. We
loved it. Loved it.
Yes, come on, Melvin.
My medicine wore off. That's why.
Okay. It's Adam. We're sending you some calm tablets to get you through in the next couple of days. But it's great to.
My Prozac.
Yeah, another sponsor. See, we're getting there, aren't we? We're getting a few. So that's good. So anyway, thank you very much, Melvin, again as always for being on. Absolutely fantastic to have you on. Steve, again, I say it's the first time this season on this particular show, but you're a very familiar face to everybody. Good to see you again. I'm glad that you're well. Look forward to tomorrow, of course. And of course, Neil, he's become a regular on this show. Always a pleasure. And we can't get through a week without your mad predictions as well. So,
Okay.
Which is always good.
Thank you for having me on, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone in the chat. They're amazing. They're amazing. Amazing. As I said, always every week, amazing community you've got here. Brilliant. Brilliant. Love it.
It is an amazing community. Yeah, we all have a lot of fun as well, and we enjoy ourselves. and it's some great shows that I hope you guys are enjoying as well. It seems like you are from all the feedback that we're getting, which is great. So, yeah, thanks everybody for watching. This has been the Arsenal review, the Monday night Arsenal review. What a great show it was. So thank you to all you guys. Thanks to Melvin, Steve, and Neil. We will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, Steve and Adam will see you tomorrow on the review show. Don't forget Melvin's brilliant show on Wednesday as well. And we'll be back. I'll be back on Thursday for the Europa League watch along. It's FC Zurich against Arsenal. What a game that's going to be. What
Get
fun
in
and games
there.
we've got this
Come
year.
on. Come on, the
North
boy.
London.
Got this.
Come on, you guys. Speak to you later, guys. Take it easy.
See you soon. All the best. Thank you so much.
Come on.